there, crypto enthusiasts. We've got some big news for you today about the former CEO of crypto giant FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried. As many of you may already know, Bankman-Fried was arrested in December in the Bahamas on charges of wire fraud, securities fraud, and money laundering. He's since been extradited to the US and released on a whopping $250 million bond, the largest ever pretrial bond, according to Reuters. But here's where it gets really interesting. Bankman-Fried is set to appear in person at Manhattan Federal Court next week to enter a plea in the case. And get this, two of his former top executives, Caroline Ellison and Gary Wang, have already pleaded guilty to fraud charges and are cooperating with federal prosecutors in the investigation. The Securities and Exchange Commission has also separately charged Bankman-Fried, Ellison, and Wang with defrauding FTX investors out of a staggering $1.8 billion. On Thursday, Sam Bankman-Fried was released on a $250 million bond as he awaits trial for his involvement in the collapse of the FTX crypto exchange, which federal prosecutors in Manhattan have described as a fraud of epic proportions. Bankman-Fried is accused of using billions of dollars in customer funds to cover losses at his hedge fund, Alameda Research. During the hearing in Manhattan Federal Court, Bankman-Fried was not required to enter a plea. He has previously acknowledged risk management failures at FTX, but has denied any criminal liability. His defense lawyer, Mark Cohen, declined to comment after the hearing. U.S. Magistrate Judge Gabriel Gorenstein has scheduled Bankman-Fried's next court date for January 3, 2023, where he will appear before U.S. District Judge Ronnie Abrams for the case. Bankman-Fried founded FTX in 2019, and due to the significant increase in value of Bitcoin and other digital assets, the exchange reached a valuation of approximately $32 billion earlier this year. This success made Bankman-Fried a multi-billionaire and a significant donor to political campaigns in the United States. While granting Bankman-Fried pretrial release, Judge Gorenstein stated that due to his significant notoriety, it would be impossible for him to engage in further financial schemes or go into hiding without being easily recognized. After his court appearance on Thursday, Bankman-Fried was surrounded by photographers as he left the courthouse in Lower Manhattan and got into a black SUV. He was dressed in a gray suit, a contrast to the shorts and t-shirt he was known for wearing during public appearances while running FTX. Prosecutor Nicholas Roos informed Judge Gorenstein that the bail package for Bankman-Fried would require him to surrender his passport and remain in home confinement at his parents' house in Palo Alto, California. He would also be required to receive regular mental health treatment and evaluation. Roos stated that while Bankman-Fried had engaged in a fraud of epic proportions, he had no prior history of fleeing and his financial assets have significantly decreased. Bankman-Fried, who is 30 years old, was arrested last week in the Bahamas, where he lived and where FTX is headquartered, marking a major downfall for him. He left the Caribbean nation in FBI custody on Wednesday night. Bankman-Fried's defense lawyer, Cohen, agreed with the proposed bail conditions and mentioned that Bankman-Fried's parents, who are both professors at Stanford Law School, would co-sign the bond and use their home equity as collateral for his return to court. Both parents were present at the hearing. According to Cohen, my client remained where he was and made no effort to flee. The $250 million bond is intended to ensure that if Bankman-Fried does flee, the government can seize the family's assets, including their home in Palo Alto, up to the full amount of the bond. It is unclear what the total net worth of the family is. Bankman-Fried stated at a New York Times conference on November 30th, following the collapse of the exchange, that he had $100,000 in his bank account. Wearing leg restraints, Bankman-Fried sat between his lawyers and nodded when Judge Gorenstein informed him that if he fails to appear in court, a warrant for his arrest will be issued. Gorenstein also stated that the conditions of his release include electronic monitoring through a device that will be fitted before he leaves court, as well as a ban on opening new lines of credit or businesses. Bankman-Fried only spoke when Judge Gorenstein asked if he understood the conditions of his release and the potential for being charged with an additional crime if he fails to show up to court. "Yes, I do," Bankman-Fried replied. However, concerns about the mixing of funds between FTX and Alameda led to a large number of customer withdrawals in early November, ultimately causing the exchange to declare bankruptcy on November 11th. Roos stated that the evidence at trial will consist of testimony from multiple cooperating witnesses, as well as thousands of pages of written communication. Just hours after Bankman-Fried's plane from the Bahamas took off, Damian Williams, the top federal prosecutor in Manhattan, announced that two of Bankman-Fried's closest associates, former Alameda CEO Caroline Ellison and FTX co-founder Gary Wang, had pleaded guilty and were assisting prosecutors. The details of their cooperation were not disclosed until after Bankman-Fried left the Bahamas, according to court documents filed on Thursday. Next week, Sam Bankman-Fried will be entering a plea to criminal charges that he defrauded investors and misused billions of dollars from customer funds at his now-failed FTX cryptocurrency exchange. On January 3, 2023, Bankman-Fried is set to be arraigned before Judge Lewis Kaplan in Manhattan Federal Court. This case was reassigned to Judge Kaplan after the original judge recused herself due to her husband's law firm, having previously advised FTX. According to prosecutors, Bankman-Fried is accused of committing a long-term fraud of epic proportions, using customer deposits to fund his Alameda Research hedge fund company, purchase real estate, and make political contributions. He has been charged with 2 counts of wire fraud and 6 counts of conspiracy, including money laundering and campaign finance violations. If found guilty, he could potentially face decades in prison. Prior to his arrest on December 12th, Bankman-Fried admitted to risk management failures at FTX but stated that he did not believe he was personally guilty of any criminal wrongdoing. 2 of his associates, former Alameda CEO Caroline Ellison and former FTX CTO Gary Wang, have already pleaded guilty in relation to their involvement in FTX collapse and have agreed to assist prosecutors. A lawyer representing Bankman-Fried has not yet provided a comment on the matter. After being arrested on December 12th, Bankman-Fried was released on December 22nd on a $250 million bond and required to stay with his parents in Palo Alto, California, where they are both professors at Stanford Law School. He is currently under electronic monitoring. FTX filed for bankruptcy protection on November 11, and its new CEO, John Ray, testified before Congress on December 13 that the exchange lost $8 billion in customer funds while being managed by grossly inexperienced, non-sophisticated individuals. As the crypto industry continues to grow and evolve, it's important to stay up to date on the latest developments and controversies. The case of Sam Bankman-Fried and the collapse of FTX is just one example of the many challenges and controversies that can arise in this field. But it's also a reminder of the importance of accountability and transparency in the crypto industry. We hope that this case will serve as a lesson for others in the industry to prioritize. Regardless of the outcome of this case, it's clear that the crypto world is here to stay. With its decentralized nature and potential for revolutionizing traditional financial systems, it's no wonder that more and more people are getting involved in this exciting and innovative space. We hope that you'll continue to follow along with us as we bring you the latest updates on all things crypto. Thank you for joining us for the latest updates on the case of Sam Bankman-Fried, the former CEO of crypto giant FTX. This case has captured the attention of the crypto community and beyond as Bankman-Fried and his accomplices are accused of defrauding investors out of over $1.8 billion, leading to the collapse of the company. The upcoming plea hearing will be a crucial moment in the case, and we will be sure to bring you the latest developments as they occur.